Good evening. Good evening. I pray that all is well with you guys. So, I am Serafina Monique, and we are back, you guys. It's Wednesday, so it is our first Winning Women Wednesday video for the year 2026. So, it is the month of January, you guys. So, the series topic for the month of January is self-love and learning to love what we see in the mirror, okay? Self-love and learning to love what we see in the mirror. So I'm going to start out by reading you guys the encouraging word for today. So if you follow me online on Facebook or TikTok or wherever, you probably already seen this because I've already posted it. I'm just going to go ahead and read it and go over it just in case you hadn't, okay? So an encouraging word for today is pause and listen to yourself today. Self-awareness isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. When you understand your heart, you give yourself grace to grow and the wisdom to choose differently. Okay. And the prayer is, Lord, help me to slow down and listen to what's happening to me. Give me clarity, peace, and compassion as I learn myself. Guide my thoughts, steady my emotions, and lead me in ways that bring healing and peace. Amen. So the scripture is, search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. And that's Psalms 139 and 23. Okay, so I love when it says it's not about being perfect, it's about being present. So it's not about making the right decisions all the time. It's not about doing everything right, but it's about understanding yourselves, understanding why you feel the way you feel, understanding why certain things trigger you. Okay. Understanding that, because once you know how they say when you know better, you do better. So once you understand something, like it said, you give yourself the grace to grow. So many times, you guys, you know how you'll see, if you see somebody like doing crazy stuff and acting a fool, it's like sometimes it's like you can't stand that person, you don't want to be around that person because they're always acting a fool. Like, why do I want to be around that? Okay. But once they begin telling their story, it's like your heart kind of softens for them a little, because you understand a little more about them. So you give them grace. Okay. So the same way that you give them grace, you want to give yourself grace. But before you can, you have to understand yourself. You have to first understand yourself you have to understand yourself and why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. So let's go into what is self-awareness. What is self-awareness? So the definition of self-awareness is the ability to clearly see and understand your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and patterns, and how they affect you and others. Okay. So the ability to clearly see and understand your thoughts. So why do we think the way we think? Okay. So a lot of us, I'm not going to say we've been taught, but we have conditioned ourselves to like suppress our thoughts and emotions. Okay. So if we have a certain thought, it's like, instead, we don't acknowledge that thought. We don't acknowledge that thought. If we have a certain emotion, like especially when it comes to like being angry or upset or sad even, it's like we don't allow ourselves to feel these negative emotions. We don't allow ourselves to feel these emotions. Okay. So what we tend to do, we tend to suppress that. We tend to distract ourselves. Okay. But what we have to learn to do is, because what you suppress is what you bury is always going to come out. Okay. It's always going to come out. So whenever you first have that thought, whenever you first have that emotion, we need to acknowledge it, because you're thinking that stuff for a reason. You're having those thoughts for a reason. You feel that way for a reason. So acknowledge it. Don't just ignore it. Okay. So with your thoughts, I was listening to something and it was saying, when you have a thought, and you know, your mind can be crazy. Like, some thoughts are not my thoughts, honey. That's just it. Some thoughts are not my thoughts, but I acknowledge each thought. Even if the acknowledgement is, I don't know where that thought comes from, but I will not come into agreement with that thought. And I rebuke it, honey, and send it back to where it come from, because I will not come into agreement with that thought. Okay. Because sometimes, like, when we have a bad thought, it's like people be like, why did I think that? And they worry and worry. And but I'm just like, I don't know where that thought come from. That wasn't me. That wasn't God. So I'm not gonna come into agreements with it. I'm gonna rebuke it, honey. And that's just gonna be it. So I acknowledged the thought. The thought came, I acknowledged it. Okay, bye. Go back to where you came from. So these thoughts that we have, don't just suppress them. Acknowledge it. I was listening to something and it said, whenever you have thoughts, give them 3 seconds to linger. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you were here. I acknowledged you. Now go. Okay, so that's what we have to do with those negative thoughts. Acknowledge them. Don't just suppress them, because sometimes they'll come back up. They'll come back up, and then you're like, why does this thought keep coming up? Why does this thought keep coming up? You know what? Every time it comes up, I'm gonna rebuke it. I'm not gonna come into agreement with it. You can go back to where you came from. Okay, so let yourself, those thoughts, don't just suppress them. Don't just suppress them. Don't let them stay. Especially, don't let them stay, especially those negative thoughts. Don't let them stay. Acknowledge it and let it go, honey. Acknowledge it and let it go. Okay? Don't sit there and ponder on it too much. Don't ponder on it too much and make it bigger than what it should be. Okay? Because you have that power. Okay? You have that power. Okay, so when it comes to your emotions, okay, so we have to understand why we are feeling the way that we are feeling. Okay, so it's especially your negative emotions. It's like, I'm trying to get my phone without bending down. Okay, especially your negative emotions. And it's like, sometimes when we start to feel a certain type of way about something, it's like we'll distract ourselves with something else. Like, a lot of us, we can't sit in silence. We can't sit in silence because our thoughts and our emotions will get the best of us. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to acknowledge our emotions. Acknowledge your emotions. And I know a lot of us was taught as kids to suppress your emotions, or we condition ourselves to suppress our emotions because we was told that you ain't we was told as kids, you ain't got no reason to be sad. You got this, and this. You were blessed with this, and this. You ain't got no reason to be sad. Why you mad? You ain't got no reason to be angry. And so instead of us learning how to control those natural emotions, we suppress them. Okay, but what we want to begin doing is we want to pay attention to those emotions, because they're there for a reason. They're coming up for a reason. Okay, so, and that's once we understand why these emotions are coming up, then we will understand why we're doing what we're doing. We'll understand the what's to our whys, the whys to our we'll understand the whys to our what's, okay? And that's really really big when it comes to self-awareness, when it comes to self-awareness, when it comes to you understanding yourself. That's really big, knowing why you're doing what you're doing, okay? And your behaviors and why you act the way that you act. Okay, so know and understand that we have to learn to be self-aware. We have to learn to be present in that moment. Okay, we have to learn to be present in the moment. You have to let yourself feel. That's just it. You have to let yourself feel. Okay, so whenever we recognize these emotions, whenever we take the time to feel those emotions and acknowledge them, and when we realize that it's something that we need to work on, it's something that you can like I said, you can give yourself grace. Let me go back to it because I forgot what it said. You give yourself the grace to grow. Give yourself the grace to grow, okay? And this isn't like being self-aware. Like once you recognize the what's to your whys, like it's nothing to be ashamed of, okay? It's nothing to be ashamed of. So you're human. You're going to mess up. You're going to mess up even once you start understanding why you're doing what you're doing. You're still going to mess up. You're still not going to always get it right. So in those moments, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Acknowledge it. And it's like, whoa, I messed up that time. I messed up again. But guess what? I'll do better next time. Okay. And that was me, you guys. Like when I realized that, oh, you need to work on this, this, and this. And you handle this a certain way. And you handle that a certain way. And so once it's like I was tested on it. And I didn't even realize I was being tested until after I had them flipped out and went off. Then it was like, whoa, you really failed that test, honey. But I didn't beat myself up about it. I was just like, you know what? The opportunity will arise again and you just do better next time. It's fine. It's okay. So give yourself some grace. And don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed because as long as you're living, as long as you're breathing, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to always get it right. And it's okay. Okay. So, yeah, being self-aware, be self-aware, be present, recognize your triggers and reactions. Learn to understand your triggers. Learn to understand what is triggering you. Okay. And so many of us, we're like, if something is triggering us, and we don't like to be triggered. So sometimes you can stay away from it. You can avoid it. But a lot of times, other times it's like, you just have to face it. So again, you have to learn to understand your behaviors, understand the whys to your what, understand why is this triggering me. And then once you understand that, once you understand yourself, then you can work on fixing it. Okay. Then you can work on fixing it. Okay. So practicing self-awareness. So how do we practice self-awareness? So if you watched my last video, I told you guys to get a journal. I'm really big on journaling. Okay. Really big on journaling. So this is going to be your journaling assignment for today. Okay. And this is just practicing self-awareness. So take a few quiet moments and reflect honestly. So be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And that's just it. That's just what it boils down to. Be honest with yourself. No judging, just noticing. Okay? No judging. So what emotions, the first question I want you to write about is what emotions have been showing up for me lately? What emotions have been showing up for me lately? Okay, so if I've been insecure, okay, whenever I'm around this person, I feel insecure. Okay, write that down. So whenever I see this person, I get angry. Whenever I'm here, I get sad. Okay, whatever it is, like write down your emotions that you've been feeling lately, okay? And then it says, what situation or people tend to trigger those emotions? That's question 2. What situations or people tend to trigger those emotions? So if you're around somebody and they make you feel insecure, it's like, what about this person make you feel insecure? Okay. What about this person makes you feel insecure? And so, you guys, I was listening to something, and let me see if I can get it right. But they said they realized something about themselves. They realized that when they were around someone and someone made them feel insecure, it was because they they made the they made her realize that what she needed to work on about herself. That's it. They made her realize, it was like a reflection. It's like, boom, I need to work on that about myself. So if I'm around somebody and they're always put together or something, their hair is always done, their nails are always done, this is always done, that is always done. And if I don't get to pamper myself all the time or whatever, so whenever I'm around this person, I'm gonna feel like she's pointing out in me. I'm not saying she's pointing out, but I'm recognizing in her what I need to work on in me. And that's making me insecure. If that makes sense, y'all. If that makes sense. It's like, God, how can I say it? Give me the words. Like, it's like, she's I'm recognizing in them what I need to work on in myself, what I haven't taken the time to work on in myself. And that is what's making me insecure. So question 2, what situations of people tend to trigger those emotions? So if this person triggered this emotion, if this person, whenever I'm around this person, I feel insecure. And it's like, what about this person makes you feel insecure? Are they pointing out something that you need to work on within yourself? Okay. Just think about that, okay? And it's like, question 3 is, how do I usually respond when I feel overwhelmed or uncomfortable? So how do I respond? So let's stick with the insecure thing or whatever it's called. But so if I'm insecure, okay, so the answer to question 1 is, the emotions is that I feel insecure around this certain person. And how do I usually respond? So when this person is around, I feel insecure, and the way I respond is by shying away, by shying back, and not being myself, my normal self or something. Like, I tend to shy away from the group. I tend to be quieter. I tend to not give my opinion as much or something, you know, because this person makes me feel insecure. Okay. So question 4, is that response helping me grow? Is that response helping you grow? Or is it protecting you from something? So is shying away helping you grow? No, not at all. It is not helping you grow. Is it protecting you from something? It's protecting you from your emotions. I guess. It's protecting you from you. Okay. So question 5, what might God be inviting me to heal, release, or shift? So he might be inviting you to work on whatever it is that is making you feel insecure. And I'm just using insecure as an example, you guys. You know, you add your own emotions, or you add your own emotions and go through the questions. So God might be inviting me to work on what it is that is making me insecure. Okay. Because it's like God has called some of you guys to do to work. And that's just it. God has called some of you guys to work, but you have to be bold with it. You can't be, Lord, give me the words. You have to be secure within yourself. You have to be secure in God, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. So when you go out and speak, or whenever you go out and do whatever it is God has called you to do, scripture tells us God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. So he wants you to go boldly, strongly, with confidence, walking, knowing that I can do all things through him who strengthens me. So what don't need to happen is, I don't need to have this person in the room that makes me feel insecure and makes me shy away from my calling. So if this person makes you feel insecure, maybe they are like I said earlier, maybe they are showing you what you need to work on within yourself. Okay, so work on it. Get to a place where you feel secure within yourself. Okay, so that you can walk boldly, so that you can move boldly, so that you can be secure, so that you can love the skin that you are in, so you can do whatever it is that God has called you to do. Okay, so let me go back over these questions again. I know I talked a lot, you guys. I talked more than what I expected to talk. That don't make sense. I talked longer than I expected to. Okay, so let's just go over these. I'm gonna post these. I'm gonna post these questions. So practicing self-awareness. Your first question is, what emotions have been showing up for me lately? Your second question is, what situations or people tend to trigger those emotions? Your third question is, how do I usually respond when I feel overwhelmed or uncomfortable? Your fourth question is that response helping me grow or protecting me from something? Okay. And your fifth question is, what might God be inviting me to heal, release, or shift? Heal, release, or shift. So I must have read it wrong the first time, y'all. What might God be inviting me to heal, release, or shift? So God might be inviting you to heal from some type of, you may have some childhood trauma that God wants to heal you from. Okay. You may be holding on to something that God wants you to release. Okay. So think about it. Think about it. What might God want me to heal, release, or shift? Okay. So, let me tell you guys a story. I went through, if you followed me, if you watched any of my content, you know that I had to take my own self-love journey. Okay. And it's not just a point, boom, bam, I'm here, that's it. No, it's something that you have to constantly work towards. Okay, keep working towards. Okay, so let me tell you guys this. So it was a period in my life to where, in my journey, to where I was here, I was trying to understand the what to my whys, the whys to my what. I was trying to understand why I was doing what I was doing. Okay, so let me tell you guys this. This may seem a little small, but let me tell you this. My favorite movie is Beyond the Lights with Nate Parker. I think that's his name, Nate Parker. But yeah, Beyond the Lights, that's my favorite movie, right? And so I came to a point to where it was like, why do I love watching this movie so much? why do I love watching this movie so much? And then I was like, maybe I just like watching it because it's a love story. And I was like, no, that's not it. That's not it. But I was like, but I love watching this movie. And so, time goes on, time went on, and then I began thinking of the times that I watched the movie. It's like every time you watched the movie whenever you felt alone, whenever you were down, you would watch that movie. Okay. And so I'm like, but why do I watch that movie? And then it was like, I could never figure it out. And so one day, just out the blue, it came to me, you guys, and it made so much sense. I love watching the movie because I like that it's a part in the movie. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, go watch it. But it's a part in the movie to where she has a breakdown, and she's like, I feel like I'm suffocating in the street and no one is noticing. And he after she had that breakdown, he basically took some time off work, honey. He called his boss or whoever and told him, he needed a few days, and loaded her up, loaded the dog up, honey. And they went to Mexico. Okay. And it was like, because she was famous. So it's like he got her away from the crowd, away from everybody. And they went to Mexico to where she was just a normal person. Okay. And so then she sung this song. She did karaoke, y'all. And so somebody recorded her, and it got back to wherever. Anyways, but everybody found out where she was at, and like all the paparazzi and everybody came. So her mom came, and her mom kind of took her back with her, and he was just sitting there like he was disappointed that she went back, because he's like, you going back to the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But you guys, I just could not figure out for the life of me. I was like, why do I love this movie so much? And then I was like, think about the time that you're watching this movie. You're watching this movie when you feel sad. You're watching this movie when you feel lonely, when you feel abandoned, when you're feeling down. And it's like you're watching this movie because you're wanting somebody to rescue you the same way that he rescued her. And I was like, oh. I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. So that might be small, but I don't know, you guys. Once I figured that out about myself, it was just like, oh my God. So then it was like, well, I had to go back. It's like, why does every time this happen, why do you feel down to the point to where you feel like you've been abandoned? And so it's like, let's go and work on that. You know what I'm saying? Let's go and work on the reason you're feeling abandoned. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was like, I don't know, that was just like a real eye opener for me. I just thought it was I don't know, it took me a second for me to understand that. But once it came to me, I was like, it all made sense. Like, that's when I began understanding the whys to my whats. And once I understood it, then I could work on why certain things were making me feel this way, to where I needed to go and watch a movie to basically feel safe in those moments. Okay, so that's it for today, you guys. If you're joining me, I really hope you guys are following along. So again, I'm going to post this practicing self-awareness, so be on the lookout for that. Do the assignment, do the work, give yourself grace. Learn to be in the present. Learn to feel. Don't suppress your emotions. Don't let those negative thoughts linger longer than they should. Give them 3 seconds, honey. Give them 3 seconds and they got to go. Okay, and that's just it. So you guys enjoy the rest of this day. Be blessed and be a blessing.